I'll do a string swap from factory Bowtech strings over to gas strings and paper tuning today. It's raining outside, so we're not going to do anything outside today. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is write down how the cable's routed. Make sure everything gets put back where it was. So it comes off the time lock on the top cam. Goes through the inside of the cable guard. To the control side of the bottom cam. The bottom time lock. Goes to the outside of the cable guard. To the control on the top cam. I just wrote that down so I don't forget it. I'll take pictures before I actually start the process. Alright, now that we've got everything wrote down so we don't forget where anything goes, take the pressure off of it. Start taking it apart. If there's nothing wrong with your string, like this one, I'm just replacing it because I like gas strings better than I do stock. I will put this back in the gas package and put it up just in case I need it. Once you have your new strings out, your old strings off, make sure you have the new ones orientated correctly. On this particular bow, the end with the longer serving goes to the time lock. Slip it over. The hardest part about this is remembering how to run Bowtech's control system on the bottom. They have such a tight curve down here, it's hard to get in. the roller bearings. That one goes to the inside. You can put that back on. Other control cable. The roller bearing, put it back on. Alright, cables on. They were on. Alright, strings next. Piece of thread on one end. That is where your peep sight goes. Shows you the exact center of your string. Make sure all your cables are in your tracks. Everything looks good, everything's still hooked. Just start adding pressure back to your bow. Strings are on. Next step, we'll do the D-loop, soft knocks, and we'll change up my rest timing cord while I'm at it. We'll go. Alright, we've got it in the vise. Bow's level. Grab an arrow. Silver Sharpie. And an arrow level. So we know the bow's level. We always try to do ours level through the top of the burger holes. Seems to give us the best adjustability when tuning. All right, string marked. Now we can start tying in soft knots. I just happen to have a bunch of spare knots laying around because they're the same size. We put beeswax on all of our serving. Makes it bite in better, holds a little bit better. All we're doing is square knots. The first one on top. Next one on bottom. We just repeat that till we get 3 or 4 on top, 3 or 4 on the bottom. You always want to end up on the top so that when you burn the tails off, all the heat's going away from your string, not into your string. I will tie 2 on top to finish that out. Razor blade, cut the excess off. Just burn them down. Some people only run one soft knot, and I think my bow shoots better with two. I've always had better accuracy and consistency out of two. Second one, I want just a little bit of play up and down at the point of tie. It's just a touch. Yeah, it's just enough to fill it. Nock spin's good and free. This is how I set up all my hunting bows, all my competition bows, everything. More on the top to end it. Got my razor blade again. There it is. Alright, next step will be D-loop. My D-loops, I usually cut them at 4.5. This one I'm going to do 4 3/4. We are using BCY. I think it's 24 diameter. It just says release the rope on here. 0.8 diameter. In royal blue. Flare it out good. Last thing you want is that knot coming undone, smacking yourself in the face with your release. Let that cool down a little bit. loop behind, pull it through. Work it down. Kind of pull a hand tight for now. Down below, come up through the center. Get as much slack out of it as you can to make your life a lot easier. Back in front. Pull it up. Pull a little bit of slack in it to hold it. D-loop pliers. I'm not gonna make that real tight just yet. Alright, let's go put the PEEP in it. And then we'll change out this cord. And we'll check the PEEP, and once we get it good where we want it, we'll tie it in. Alright guys, I'm using the, not really sure what this PEEP's called. Podium PEEP. It has a real little small dimple on the bottom of it. I don't know if you can see it or not. But at my draw length, that has to be down to give me the proper string angle. So for me, I find that little dimple, make sure it's down, just slip the PEEP in. And put pressure back on the string. Just going to rotate it some. This is one reason why I didn't tighten my D-loop down. I can just spin my D-loop instead of having to take the string off and add twists or anything like that to it. Now everything's pretty much perfectly in line. Alright, I'll see you back over on the workbench. We're going to do the rest control cable next. Alright, so we're going to do the control cable next. This is more just aesthetically done than anything. These factory control cables on these Hamskea rests are perfectly adequate. Just not a big fan of the black on this bow. Changed the one out on my competition bow to bright green too. But if I can, I will keep this control cable just in case I need it. Whenever I go hunting, I will take this cable with me. So almost all of my bows have this rest on them. The Solution LS that I'm hunting with right now, it still has the ripcord rest that came with it, which I actually like better than the Q8Es that everybody's using. So just like on the D-loop, you want to flare the end of this out. Burn it down. Try not to catch it on fire, but it happens. That one I like to make a little bit smaller. Under the limb from the outside, all I want to do, make kind of like a half inch. That's more like a double half inch. Hamskea recommends 1 to 2 inches from the end of your limb. Which would be about right there. I'm going to cut this off right there. Some people do not use these harmonic dampener things from Hamskea. I didn't. I started using them again and kind of like what they do. Makes it a little bit easier to time everything. A little higher than I wanted it. Of course, this cable will stretch. You will have to redo it in probably a couple hundred shots. I'm not a big fan of these footballs that Hamskea uses, but it's what they use. I don't know of anything that's better. They make these in metal, but I don't know, I feel like it's a problem waiting to happen. Good. That looks good there. D-loop Pete. Alright, well, let's go draw it back, see what the peep looks like. See if everything looks good there. Then we'll go from there. Alright, so you want to check cam timing. Always put an arrow in your bow if you're doing anything like this, drawing it back, anything. we're looking for is the stops to hit at the exact same time. The top one just touched. So did the bottom one. I'll never get that lucky again. So what we want to do we are going to stretch this out a little bit. Make sure we're getting proper draw weight. This scale will be kind of finicky, but reset to 0. Full draw. It's both set on 29.5 inches as well. If you can see it, it's 70 pounds even. 10.5 pound holding weight, which is 85% let off. Alright guys, again all I'm doing is checking my peep height. Make sure it's right. If it's right, I will tie it in. I always want to double check. So I'll take it away from my face, close my eyes, come back into anchor. When I get anchored, open your eyes. So that one's just a touch low. Check again. Yeah, it needs to go just a touch. That little bit of movement right there was probably plenty. It's actually a touch too much. So we'll bring it just enough to feel it move. That's perfect. And we always put an arrow in our bows when we draw them back, just in case the D-loop would break or accidentally hit the button and set the bow off. You want something there to take it up instead of blowing your brand new bow up. Okay, we want to do some paper tuning. What most of your pro shops will do when you buy a new bow. This is just the first step in what I do. I'm probably 6 foot from the paper. After I do this, I will go outside and do it at 10 yards. A little bit low left. I always paper tune with a bare arrow. Just wrap, and that's it. No veins. I always do it more than once to ensure that I'm getting a consistent tear. That one was straight low. Since they were different, I will shoot it again. Straight low again. So, by that, I need to lower my rest just a touch. And once I go do this at further distance, it will magnify these results. So if I would go outside right now, that would, instead of being a half-inch tear, it'd be about a 3-inch tear. Also, whenever you do this, remember to adjust your rest timing. So if you lower your rest, it will make the launcher blade come up. Rest is adjusted. Tighten the cord so the blade stays down. Plenty good enough for this distance. Okay. It's not raining right now, so we're going to try to do this distance paper tune. See how it works. What I mean, you can get a massive tear from 10 yards that you weren't getting at 5 feet. Shoot it again to make sure it does the same thing. If it does, we'll go from there. quite as bad, but it's still bad enough. Alright. Well, those tore opposite directions, so I'm going to do that again. First shot tore tail left. Second shot was tail right. That was a really minor tail left. Do it one more time. Well, one more time. It's possible all that could have been the string settling in. Honestly, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to do probably a 10-yard bear shaft and maybe a 20-yard bear shaft. Depending on how that looks, I'll go to broadhead tuning.